Welcome all, and welcome Mr. Barry Peatling to the Barry Peatling Sports Show.
And welcome to you, Colin Sutcliffe, and welcome to all my viewers all around the world. And to say we got the football season started, the local Chelsea football competition started this weekend. We'll have something to say about it very shortly.
Very good. So it started on Sunday, but before we get into the local football competition, there's a little bit of a tradition that we've built up, and looking on days gone by, and you're going to
tell the people out there I did play a bit of football and I wasn't too bad at all. And you get the results there and headlines to prove it. So that's what, and just to think that, or let the people out there know that I do know I'm talking about football.
So we're here as a headline of the the Horsham Mail Times.
No, it's Shepparton.
Shepparton, okay.
Shepparton up there. That's when I was on top of the award.
So when you moved over to Shepparton in the mid-late 60s, you were celebrating for Lemnos. You're roving for them, and you're sort of dominating in the league, as we can see by the
on top of the awards there.
Goal kicking awards. You're sort of right up in the top 4. And
the goal kicking too. I finished up runners up. That was about 6 games to go, Colin. Like 43 goals there, wasn't I?
Yeah, 43 goals. You won Sportsman of the Week, in line for the Sportsman of the Month of the year.
Yeah.
Best performance on the ground.
I kicked 6 goals that day.
Right up there with Fredo McMahon.
He was a rover too.
Very good rover. There's a photo of you in the paper.
I was running second in the award. That was a big TV award back in the days. What's it saying up there? 4 goals. I kicked 4 goals that day.
Very good.
But it was a pretty good competition back up in them days, Colin. Pretty good stiff competition, as a matter of fact. But I was a star up there, and that's the way it goes.
And so that's a little bit of a
bit of nostalgic stuff here in this
nostalgic
place.
Stuff there.
I can show the little photos of my little broken nip when I was up in Rapania. Not very invigorating to look at, but that's how I was when I had a fractured neck and a fractured skull. I played football the following year after. That's amazing, Colin. How in the hell was that?
While you were
young, the doctors told me in Ballarat St John of God's Hospital.
Yeah.
They said, Barry, you'll never play football again. And I was laying flat on my back with that thing stuck in my head, that one there.
Yep.
I said, won't I? I said, we'll see about that. And that was in May in 1963, and I was playing cricket in November. And that's sort of just what they said about not playing football. I was playing cricket in 3 months after that.
You really got stuck into
crazy, but I played football the following year.
Yeah. So that's
why I'm out of my head's a bit out of whack now.
Don't put yourself down, Barry.
No, I was very determined.
That's my job.
Very determined little footballer I was back in them days.
Well, let's get into the local competition. That's what everyone's here for. How did Chelsea go yesterday, Barry? You were live on the spot. I
was there, and it was a very, very big crowd. The biggest crowd I've seen. I suppose winning a premiership the year before by Edi Asp would have something to do with the crowd. It was chock-a-block.
Really?
It was. You had to park about half a mile, but atmosphere was unbelievable. But the game wasn't too flash.
Wasn't too flash. Well, was there any improvement on last year, Barry?
Oh, a lot of improvement. The first quarter wasn't too flash. We sort of fiddling around and back short passing and all that stuff, and not manning up, and they got a bit of a break on us. It was about
got a little bit behind the 8 ball. I've got a score here: 1-8 Chelsea.
Yeah, I've got the score.
5-1, 31 at quarter time.
I've got them here.
Yeah.
And we only scored 1 goal in the first half, and they kicked 7 goals, but they could have. I thought it was going to be a bit of a wipeout.
Yeah.
In the first quarter of an hour, because we wasn't manning up, and they just do what they like. They were kicking. They were wasting kicks too, but the second quarter. Colin, they only scored 2 goals, but we didn't score any other goals. But we did defend reasonably well, and I'll tell you something about Jackson Arthur. He rucked well all day. He done an amazing job. This fella is given away about at least 3 inches. What's that? 6 centimetres?
Yeah.
So this other fella, and I'll tell you something about him later. But he started off brilliantly, finished all day. Done a very good job all day. But there wasn't too many. The best players all day wasn't very hard to pick on. Very hard to pick. Like Toddy Gardner was down a bit in the first half.
Yeah.
He picked up in the second half, but I don't know how we kept them to 7 goals 2, wasn't it? That's the score.
7 goals 3. It says on the official score.
7 goals 3. I don't worry about another point, but we only kicked 2 points. But
1 goal 4.
We got to forget about the first half. The second half,
right.
the third quarter, Bradley Clark and Toddy Gardner started coming in the game, and because Jackson Arthur was rucking well, and Joel Connolly, he was doing his job in the middle too, and Hudson Thomas was doing his best before long, but he didn't score, but he finished up with 3 goals later. But it was the third quarter, as we outscored them in the third quarter.
Kicked 4 goals to
4 goals to 4 goals. We've outscored them by 1 point, which is very good. And but I got to keep telling you that this Jackson Hart, I reckon he must have had 30 knockouts, Colin. I counted 25.
I haven't really heard you talk about him.
He was good last year. He's one of
but he was okay last year. But he's taken a step this year.
I told him, I said, stick to being a good ruckman, because he took over the first ruckman from Joel Connolly, which is pretty good, because Joel Connolly he's a big unit, Joel Connolly, but Jackson Arthur, just keep doing what you're doing now, and you'll not even finish up in the league side, because he's got an incredible league, Colin.
Keep on turning.
Incredible league. He jumps up and this fella, he was a start in last year's grand final, number 29, yes, and he's cleaned him up.
Very
right
interesting.
Up.
Well, give us the final score then, Barry.
The final score was Chelsea 8-8 to
56,
Edi Asp 15-7, wasn't it?
15-8 I got here, 98.
Well, around 15 something, but they only scored 4 goals in the last quarter. We scored 3 goals, and as I say, the second half was very good.
So it wasn't a blowout.
Look, in the first quarter I said that it's a snake. I said this could be another wipeout here, but we're going to get better. There's a lot of players who are down on form, including Tutu.
Yeah.
Jason Naddar was very quiet. He kicked a couple of goals, but he'll do better. But the other players that
talk about the new recruits.
Well, Matty Smith and Matty Baxter, they put in number 15 and number his other name, but his number. But who was the other recruit? That was very quiet. He'll get better. He'll get on the ball, but we've got a couple of players that come back in next week, but we will beat Seaford next week. Okay. At home.
Give us your goal kickers then, Barry.
The goal kickers was Hudson. I must mention about Hudson Thomas. He took 2 marks of the day, and he kicked 3 goals of the day too in the last quarter. One in the third quarter, 1 and 2 in the last quarter. He took these. It takes a very good mark, this fella. He come good in the second half, but I was saying you want the goal kicks. That's right. Hudson kicked 3. Jason Naddard kicked 2. Jay Naddard kicked 2. Jason Clark kicked a beautiful goal in the first quarter, and Matty Gardner kicked 1.
Well, before we get into the best players and votes, let's talk about the highlights, Barry.
Well, getting back to Jackson Arthur, I've never seen a better exhibition of, and most of the knockouts was going to our little rovers and our on-ball players, but he was all day, mate, all day. Jackson Arthur, 10 out of 10 goals, mate. Okay. Any other highlights? Tim Mannix. I told you about this Tim Mannix. He's a superstar for Edi Asp. He's the most unattractive man I've ever seen in my life. But he took 2 marks there on Sunday. He fell over and he was stuck in his hand down here. Get that camera on here.
Yep.
And he took 2. The crowd stopped and applauded him. He kicked 3 goals. He gave away. He's very, very unattractive. He's got a big beard, comes down here, covers, and he's just, I don't think he's had a shave for about 20 years. Okay. But he never gets caught. You're a star. Kenny Mannix, but get your beard trimmed down so we can see your head.
Okay, so any other highlights before we want to go into the best players?
No, there wasn't. Look, Chelsea had a lot of players. In the first half, there probably might have been a half a dozen players that wouldn't have registered on their possession. Okay. Half a dozen players, Colin. So
there's a little bit disappointing, but not super.
The second half, we definitely improved 100%.
All right, well, give us your group of best players.
Well, very hard to find the best players. I'll tell you, Bradley. As a matter of fact, I was standing next to Bradley Clark's father most of the day, and they had 2 taggers. They've got the message in this competition. They had 2 of their best players tagging Bradley Clark. And he didn't. We put in, but he'll get better, Bradley Clark. But with Jackson Arthur, Hudson Thomas for his 3 goals, but there was not too many other players that stood up, mate, who were the best players.
Okay, well give us your votes then. 1 vote.
1 vote to Hudson Thomas, 2 votes to Toddy Gardner for his second half.
Yep, and 3 votes.
3 votes for, everyone knows it by now, Jackson Arthur.
Right, so you're pretty wrapped on him. So
look, I've always been a fan. I told him last year, I said, you just keep doing what you're doing, because they had him at centre half back last year, but I think he's persistent. He'll learn how to palm into the roads when he gets more experience, because he jumps up as high as that roof.
So just a reminder,
you've got to learn to take most around the ground too, Jackson, and you'll be a complete player.
Just a reminder to the viewers that these votes will be tallied at the end of the season for the Barry Peatley Best and Fairest Award.
We've done it the last 3 years. We've had actually, I think I've picked the last 3 winners too, haven't I?
Okay. Well, next week's game.
Playing Seaford, and Seaford got beaten.
Where are they playing Seaford?
At a Chelsea Oval.
And that'll be on Saturday?
Saturday, thank God for that.
Very good.
But they've lost a couple of players, including Bradley Irving, who went to Frankston. He was a superstar, that fella. He's always cleaned us up. But I think we'll be a lot better, and the team bonding and the team gelling together next week. I reckon we'll beat Seaford. And there's a couple of players who come back in next week, and but I think Chelsea supporters, including the Snake, we will beat Seaford next week.
Okay, that's your prediction.
Yeah.
So that'll be next Saturday, but we'll report on it live and get the full report on Monday for your viewers.
Yeah.
So we look forward to that very much. Now, any Cheerios then, Barry?
Cheerios, there's always Cheerios. To my little lady Annie and Carla and Joe Van. I was talking to Joe Van 2 nights ago. The man in the wheelchair.
Yeah. How's he going?
How you going? I said, all right. He's but he's got a lot of problems. But he's not too, doesn't look too bad.
He's got more issues than the Reader's Digest.
Yeah, he's got that. But he's always smiling. And of course, Lloyder and Ariane, and they got Lloyder's sister's husband's there, and her daughter's there. She's a very attractive woman. I said to Annie last night.
Hello.
Very attractive woman, Lloyd's daughter. That's little Jack. Jack is my superstar. 2-year-old.
And also just a
PH and Sandy and Carlos, all the best mate up in Cairns.
Just a small reminder, we've got after this video will be highlights from the game.
Yes, there'll be some before the game and after game action. Yeah, so
stay tuned. After we say goodbye.
There's about 5 or 6 minutes. Yes, he talks very well, Coach.
Very good.
I like him.
So you enjoy that. So anyway, that's goodbye from me.
That's goodbye from me, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Well, you know what we're going to do. Get yourself ready. Go out. Very first contest, we're into it. First quarter, we're 5 goals down. We're done by 6. And that's pretty much the long and short of it. They've had 5 more scoring shots than us. But I just think that we need to get a lot better at the basic stuff. Don't you reckon? Our communication, pretty ordinary, real ordinary actually. I mean, we spoke about Brad Clark in the second quarter, running through, he's got probably 10 metres behind him, he's got about 40 metres in front of him. He could have taken all that space by foot, which is what we talk about, like by not over-possessing the footy. Happens to Nathan Errington in the last quarter. That's the same thing. Right? Little things like, in the back line, kicking into the breeze, we're starting behind our blokes. We have a little turnover from a half forward playing from behind his bloke, turns over, quick kick forward into the breeze, back line playing from behind, goal. Opposite scenario, half forward flankers playing in front of his bloke, we win the footy, we kick a goal. So it's a 2-goal turnaround. Just basic stuff is the stuff we need to get better at. Our forward line kicking into the breeze, playing from behind. Going into the forward line when we have the horseshoe formation, kicking it out wide to numbers. Not picking up our men on the spread. When we get hold of the foot, you've got to be nasty on that, fellas. When they've got the footy or the balls in the dispute, you've got to have a bloke. It's as simple as that. We're starting from here. Well, we've got to build it up and build it up quickly. Right, the third quarter was fantastic. We outscored them, boys. We outscored them into the breeze. Good effort, fantastic. But we need to do more of it. We need more of it. And I just reckon, I don't know why, I just reckon over the last couple of weeks we've dropped off on the track. Don't you think? Now, I don't know why. You know, we play a couple of easy sides in these practice games. We get a couple of wins and we think, oh, this is going okay. Nothing's going to smack you back in the sides by playing the premiers from last year. We're building, boys. There's no question about it. There's no question. The signs are there, but we've got to pick out the good stuff and get rid of the bad stuff. And slowly but surely, it'll overtake itself and we'll become a really good side, boys. There's no question about it. Like I said, the signs are there. Right, boys, make sure you recover well. We've got a 6-day break before we play Seaford next week. Fellas, after the game, after Seaford this week, we've got a break. So we've got to get on the board. We've got to get on the board early, okay? So, do everything that you possibly can between now and Tuesday to recover, to get our training back on track. Come prepared, come with that plan that we talk about. Thursday night, we freshen up, we get our skills right. And Saturday, we hit the ground running against Seaford. With a break in mind the following week. We throw everything we've got at the game next week. We get those little things right, we think about it, we talk about it in our groups, and we just make it right. Well, boys, stretch up.